Hello, hello, hello. How the hell is everybody doing? It is, yeah. How are you? Trying to get everything straight here, trying to get everything going. I'm rolling over on YouTube just to see what happens, just for the hell of it. Um, I was meaning to get on here earlier today. Lots of stuff going on. I don't know which end of the bullshit we should start on. How you doing, Veronica? What's up, Latoya? How you doing, guys? I wanted to try the main account here because it's just they've been messing with you. They are not allowing. They're like changing mods and stuff like that. So they took everybody, like everyone who was a moderator and stuff like that. They've changed everything. So if you guys were modding for me before, check to see if you're still modding, just to make sure, because I know they're messing with everything I put out. I tried to put out about 15 different. I don't know what the hell happened there. What is going on with this? All right, now where'd you? All right, I don't know what the hell happened. I'm trying to put mod stuff everywhere. All right. Anyway, what the hell is that? Oh, there you are. Yeah, there's yeah, barely. Yeah, I can hear you. Uh, no, I'm trying to mod. I hit your mod button and your window popped up and I was like, "Oh, I guess you are modding." I didn't know. Um no, 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 I don't mind. I don't mind. Um it's I'm just going to go on a couple of rants right here because there's been a lot of stuff that's come out that I'm just really getting kind of pissed off about. It's the your mic. Okay. All right, I'll pull you back up in a little bit. Happy belated Anna, happy belated Women's Day. International Women's Day today. Which they celebrated out in New Mexico. There was hundreds and hundreds of women and people that protested in front of the ex Zorro Ranch down. Yeah, there was just lining the streets down in the Zorro Ranch to celebrate Women's Day, International Women's Day, which I thought was perfect. I thought was that was just brilliant that they would do that. So that's a big plus that's going on, which we need desperately because there's not enough pluses going on. Um, there's been a lot of really disturbing stuff that has come out in the war in the last couple of days. We've heard Donald Trump just today say it's not going to take long, which is absolute bullshit. He also said that the gas prices is just going to be a temporary pain. It's just going to be a little bit. It's just going to be a little bit. Um, they've figured out that Iran is a lot more badass than they thought they were. They didn't think Iran would be able to fight back like they have. They didn't think Iran would have the support that they have. And they're relying a whole bunch on the misinformation and the owners of all the media companies and the platforms and all that other stuff. They're relying on all that stuff mainly to keep the truth out of the American public. We're not getting what we usually get. We're not getting, we can't even Google like we used to. Like even Google has been taken over. Um, I'm trying to guide people back to the simple part of just looking logically at the numbers that they're giving us and the reports that they're swearing up and down are the only thing, and the entire wait, hold on, I don't know what's going on. This thing is freaking out already. Wow, that didn't take long. That didn't take long at all. Anyway, Yeah, the it comes down to this. The very first day is all you need to know to see how far off the information they're giving you and us in America, and how logic just dispels every fucking word that's coming out of their yeah, it's a late stream. I've had a lot going on. Um it if you're looking at the very first attack, just the very first wave that went through, the one where the elementary school got blown up and 180 children from 7 to 12 and 100 additional adults, parents, and a student and staff and stuff like that. Just that wave alone, we know that the Fifth Fleet U.S. Naval headquarters in Bahrain was open, active, and full of people. We know that it's full of people because it's in the Middle East, and there was a lot of tensions right before all this kicked off. So the naval headquarters was full of freaking people. You also know it's not a little tiny damn room. If you do any type of thought into it whatsoever, it's very, very easy to recognize that more than six people were killed just in that one place. Just that alone should call bullshit on every number that comes out of the Pentagon and the White House. I mean, bottom line. Now, when you're doing research on other news organizations from other parts of the world, including the IRGC, the Iranian news channels, if you want to call them that, news feeds. They estimated American deaths on the first day to be about 560. That's what they estimated. There's no real way they can tell, but you do get an approximate of how many people coming in and out of a building, a government headquarters, if you pay enough attention. So what it's coming down to is longevity. I do not believe Trump had any idea that they were actually going to get fighting back and there would actually be some difficulty going on. Because as soon as Trump did this, I mean, he should have known the Strait of Hormuz was going to be shut down. He should have known that would have caused an issue in the oil around the world. That's a huge part of the oil from all over the world. Now, when the Strait of Hormuz is shut down and no oil's coming out of that area, it widens the accessibility and need for other oil sources, including many countries that were sanctioned before all this shit hit the fan. So when you're looking at direct ties in these countries that are being bombed to places like Russia and China and places like them, you need to also understand that the oil that is being pulled out of countries that have oil that don't have to go through the Strait of Hormuz are making a shit ton of money right now, which includes Russia. And the US prices are going through the roof too. We're looking at probably four, five, $6 a gallon, $7 a gallon. I heard someone say it'd be $7 a gallon. For all the Republicans in the audience, I ask one simple, hey, is this what you had in mind? But in the grand scheme of things, if we look down on how much money this war is costing us, we need to recognize simple, simple, simple little tiny parts of it. One main part is each little tiny drone that Iran is shooting over, we are firing 4 to 6 to 8 to 10 big missiles at to try and knock them out of the air. These drones cost $10,000 to $30,000. They're expensive, but not very expensive when you're talking about weaponry. If you're looking at the grand scheme of how much each one of those missiles that we shoot up after these little bad boys are, we're talking 5, 10, 15 million a piece. Every drone that comes on, that's how much we're shooting down just to try and save it, just to try and kill it, just to try and get it out of the air. So in the dollars and cents, Iran is spending a hell of a lot less than we are. And $890 million a day at the current levels is the estimate. Again, we can't be sure because we're never going to get the true numbers. That's pretty important. The estimate so far that Israel supposedly spent is 6.6 billion, which they should be spending a hell of a lot more than us. This is their war, not ours. But the fact that we have become such an obvious puppet of Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu, and we are now just recognizing, not we as in us, most of us already know that, but there are many Republicans just recognizing as they're getting notifications that their children are being deployed any day now. They got 48-hour ready notices, I believe, yesterday in many, 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 many different aspects of the military. And they are already talking about a draft. That is something I've mentioned on a whole bunch of my videos, that they were trying so hard to put through that executive order where there's a 2-year mandatory military service in anybody from 18 to 24. That's something they were trying to put through. So that has been on their mind this entire time. I knew the draft was coming. I knew a war was coming when Donald Trump just randomly, Baron Trump just put out the news that he has bone spurs. As soon as I saw the bone spurs, I was like, oh, there's going to be a war, there's going to be a draft. And all of a sudden, Iran gets bombed. We're in World War III, and there's 26, 27 countries involved right now. But Barron can't go because he has bone spurs like Dad. Well, wait, that doesn't count because the tennis pro doesn't have bone spurs. He still plays tennis. Anyway, so figure that one out. But yeah, as soon as that happened, that was kind of the tell that they were aiming for the freaking draft. So that's something that we're gonna have to see how that rolls out. We don't yet have news of how many soldiers are being deployed and where they're going to be deployed to. They have tennis elbow. Yeah, it's too much self-love. No, he's don't get me started, you'll get me in trouble. But no, I encourage people every single time there's any question just to hold hold the perspective off until more information comes in. We heard about this girl's school. We were disgusted by this girl's school. Then we heard it was more than one missile. Now the information that's coming out is not just it was more than one missile, it was more than one Tomahawk missile. That's an American missile. Now Trump's going, well, all these countries have Tomahawks. Well, probably the ones you sold them to, or someone sold them to, or whatever, but automatically trying to deflect. The bottom line, that school was bombed the first time simultaneously when the Fifth Fleet headquarters was bombed, and I think the $1.5 billion radar facility that was there. All of these things that cost us billions and billions of dollars to create and build these bases and everything else. Qatar, and it's just blown to shit. I mean, they said there were 6, 7 major bases seriously messed up by attacks, but the American media does it well. Unnamed base. I saw that on Google a couple of times. Unnamed location. Unnamed. Now there's information coming out that some of those, the 6 that were killed, according to the president's numbers, were reservists. And a spouse of one of the reservists was talking about how they were moved from the regular facility to these little tiny storage containers, basically, that were makeshift offices, like on the fly, like a week earlier. Just, oh, by the way, we're putting you over here. And you hear about all these little things, and and then you hear the White House continuing to say only 7 service members were lost. We've got the largest military hospital, the LRMC, shut down the labor and delivery wing of the hospital. over there. That's one of the biggest in the Middle East, that handles the servicemen and women. They shut down all the labor and delivery operations and sent it to another hospital because of so many injured soldiers that are coming in. They shut it down. That should tell you that there's a lot more than just 6 service members dead. We had the Camp Arijani, sorry, I slaughtered that name there. It's a major logistical hub, one of the biggest logistical hubs. There was Al Diari helicopter base, totally wiped out. Then there were 2 unnamed. They even said in the Google search, unnamed. Then you went on Bing and there was like other properties were hit, no details available, that type stuff. Then you've got the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad in Iraq. There's got to be people there. The U.S. in that's Iraqi Kurdistan is another area that got hit. And then in Saudi Arabia, the American embassy in Saudi Arabia. There are other countries. We've got, I mean, Dubai is getting hit. All of these places are getting hit. And then we're finding out that the missiles that were hitting the places like Dubai didn't come from Israel. They didn't come from Iran. They came from Israel, and they were blamed on Iran. And then Iran's like, no, we didn't do this. We didn't do this. So even that, we've got to take into account that there is a show hard at work that's writing the wag the dog type of screenplay here. And we have to keep going back and relying on freaking logic. That's the part that I think everybody is forgetting, because the logical part of this will dispel most of the bullshit. If we open our mind enough to go, well, maybe what I've been told isn't quite what's been going on. And that's one of the things that I think people are forgetting about, is we do have the capability to determine whether or not we're being lied to, because we should, as grown-ass adults, have the capability to recognize what's logical and what's not. If we know a major headquarters in the middle of the daylight business day in the Middle East in a Navy headquarters doesn't have 5-6 people in it, and there's no way in hell a whole building is operated during a workday and nobody died. Period. End of discussion. That should be for everybody to go, that's bullshit, that's bullshit, that's bullshit, and everything else is bullshit. So we've got to work harder to get the real information. And one of the scariest parts that's going on is the people in Iran that were all hyped up by the president, go and fight, go and fight. Now he's telling how many other countries do the same thing at the same time. The Kurds he's telling to do. I mean, at the same time, he's saying, we'll go into Cuba next. He's picking these countries with direct ties to Russia. Russia's not saying or doing anything. Yes, they sent Iran missing pieces of the weaponry, quote unquote, with the largest military transport plane right after that, that nuclear deal, the JCPOA that Trump ripped up for absolutely no fucking reason at all. Right after that happened, Russia delivered a big plane load of stuff. China has delivered a couple of plane loads of stuff. China's military salesperson, the guy in charge of that, has literally said, we have been selling long-range missiles to Iran for a while now, ever since that treaty they could get whatever they want. Basically, China said they've been shopping and we're selling. That's what they said. Flat out, China said that. That should worry people, because China has some crazy-ass weaponry. China has this one bomb that they call it the 61. It's 60 nuclear warheads and 1 hydrogen bomb, all wrapped in one big shell. That's some scary shit. And they say it's hypersonic. It could go anywhere. This is what their claim is, that it could go anywhere in the world in 20 minutes. I don't know how that's possible. I have no idea how that's possible. But I've been watching some military shit that I didn't think would be possible. Could China have the technology to do it? Pretty smart people. That's all I can say. But yeah, let's look logically at all this bullshit. You know what I mean? Let's look logically at the way this is all rolling out. At the same time this World War III was launched, there were more damaging e-files released, including 302 forms, especially the one particular victim at 13 years old that was interviewed by the FBI. They found her so credible. They had all this corroborating evidence and all of this stuff. This was released. The 302s were released. And she was such a credible, proven witness that her case was used to prosecute Ghislaine Maxwell. That's some pretty important stuff. And they thought they got away with hiding it. It was released, it was caught, screenshotted, and they got called out on it. Now they had to release it. There's more. There are photos that are allegedly about to come out with DJT in different compromise, allegedly. So we have 1,000 casualties in Germany. I would not doubt that at all. I would not doubt. American media will not say that, but I was thinking at least that. Is that confirmed, kid? I'm looking for I keep finding these things, these little nugget, like Military Times and the Tasnim News, the IRGC News and stuff like that. There's probably a lot more. Iranian officials release numbers that they estimated the loss of life to be during the first wave, and it was around 550, 560, somewhere around there. And I see that as a very accurate portrayal just of the headquarters, just of that area, and then hitting the other, United States things. And in Germany, 1,000 in Germany, that I do not doubt that at all. Horrifically as it is, I do not doubt that at all. Donald Trump underestimated the Iranians. Donald Trump had no idea how difficult these drones were to fight. The one person, the one country that's got it figured out pretty damn well is Zelensky in Ukraine. So this turd nugget had to literally suck it up and go to him and say, "Can you help us? I know I was kind of a douche." I know he didn't say that, but he went to him for help. And here's the thing. Zelensky's going to help him. But Zelensky's got some, "I'll do it if." Good for you, Zelensky. Good for you. Now shove it right up his orange ass. That's the thing that I'm seeing. And here's another wonderful, funny ass thing. All right. Remember Condoleezza Rice? Yeah, her daughter works for Netflix, was one of the executives of Netflix. And in this whole Paramount Plus, Netflix, HBO, Warner Brothers, all this thing, one of Trump's demands was that Netflix fire Susan Rice, Condoleezza's daughter. Well, as life would have it, he actually went to Condoleezza, who showed up at the White House or wherever the hell he was, to speak to people about how to be, diplomatic and try and solve this can of worms that he just fucking opened up. Sorry, I'm trying not to curse. But you see that, and you sprinkle in the other allies that he's pissed off by doing this and the tariffs and everything else he's done since he got in the office. He has literally isolated us to the point where we are looking at potential threat incoming here, and the biggest radar observancy hub, security hub, is a partnership between Canada and the United States at NORAD. That's the main thing, NORAD, that keeps the skies above the U.S. safe. And since Trump screwed over Canada so bad, it's no longer really a thing. In addition to getting rid of, when he first came in, the cybersecurity for international terrorist events, before getting rid of all of these Doge departments, before firing every single expert of every single intelligence organization that we have relied on for decades and decades and decades. He's relying on autonomous drones using technology they're not supposed to use for blind unaliving people. They're doing it against the company's wishes. And this crackhead Nazi Ken doll is the one to, oh, we can do this. Come on, no fatties, no beardos. We can do this. That's Schnugget in charge of who's getting it. And then you got what? Stephen Miller's the backup. You kidding me? Stephen Miller's the free. Stephen Miller, Pam, we need. Of course, the little orange thing's on top. But that's the point. This is who we got running this thing. So we're wondering why Iran paints pictures on an airfield that look like planes, and America and Israel are so proudly dropping tens of millions of dollars worth of missiles and bombs and drones on these chalk pictures, like literally pictures from above. But if there was a human, they'd be like, yeah, that's not three-dimensional. What are you, stupid? But the drones don't know, so boom, boom, boom. The missiles don't know because whatever. Everything he's doing is getting shoved right up his ass. And the sad part, the crazy part, is the kids that aren't going to be sent to their deaths are going to be the children of the congresspeople, the senators, and the freaking Trumple thinskins. Barron has bone spurs. And Prince Harry got treated like crap from the royal family, and he went out there in Afghanistan right off the bat, just like Zelensky, right off the bat. And you got this turd burglar turning around. Yeah. It's not their money. It is our money. But here's the thing. This is what that people don't get. They were bitching and moaning about sending money to Ukraine. They were bitching and moaning about sending money to Ukraine without boots on the ground, without really anything. And they're sending money to Ukraine that actually comes back to us in paying back the loan, in actually keeping the money between our shores, and having to have the weapons that are sent to Ukraine rebuilt in this country, which generates the American economy and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. All of that stuff people don't understand when they talk about getting pissed about the money going to Ukraine. They don't understand that most of the money stays within our shores. More than 50% of it stays on our coast, just to replace and rebuild in American companies the stuff we're sending to people, our old used shit that we don't use anymore. That's the thing. People don't see that, but it was enough to get them pissed off enough to get this guy in and do all this stuff. And now they forgot all about the money being wasted. They're not realizing that $890 million a day, and that's at current levels. That's no expansion whatsoever. That's freaking ridiculous. You know what that is? That's universal health care. That's everyone having health care. That's what it is. $10 billion so this douche nugget could sue the IRS because his tax for what, 2 years got exposed. So he's taken 10 billion more from the taxpayers, or the 10 billion he gave the Board of Peace for that bank account that he's in charge of until he decides to name his own successor, and he could stay in that office as long as he wants. And any other person or country that wants to join the Board of Peace has to give him another $1 billion. And he's the one in charge of it. $233 million that he's suing the DOJ for the inconvenience and the legal fees from all of his legal problems that he was found guilty of by grand juries and all this other crap. All of that out of the taxpayer money. And then I got into this conversation with this Republican nugget, and he's talking about how, he was harassed and went down that road again. I'm like, yeah, and didn't he raise hundreds of millions of dollars from everybody to pay those legal fees? Didn't Laura go, before she started her awesome superstar singing career, become the person of the purse with the Republican National Convention and clean out their freaking bank accounts too? Didn't she do that too? All to pay his legal fees. And on top of that, all those super PACs that gave him money, not the super PAC that Elon Musk owned, the 5 or 10 of them that he owned. You know, the one that sent out all the fake ballots and all that. Not that one. I mean the one just strictly cash. And he's still suing taxpayers for $233 million more dollars. Now, I don't know what part of financial irresponsibility or what part of how big of a freaking con man does someone have to be before they go, yeah, that's screwed up. But these political driven people that can't even see this, and they still try and pretend that Iran's a good idea for some stupid reason, doesn't realize that we didn't need to do this. Nothing this man does has to be done the way he's doing it. He doesn't know any other way but to do it the most screwed up way possible that hurts the most amount of people. The only thing that matters is how much money he and his friends make out of it. That's the only thing that matters. Because every step of this goes back on money making. American oil prices are going up. Of course they are. The largest channel that delivers the largest amount of oil to the entire freaking world is kind of plugged up because of the fight. See how it all goes around? That's where it all goes around. And they're doing all of this, exactly, kid, hiding the damn files. That's why he's doing it. And it's not just for Trump. Bibi's in there too. Bibi's in there a couple thousand times. I was talking about it a lot when I first started my freaking stacks of files. I was finding threads going back as far as 2002, 2003, 2005 from Vladimir Putin and Bibi and Epstein talking about secondary currency to rival the American petrodollar, talking about even going to the St. Petersburg Economic International, whatever, the spiel, it's a Russian Davos. And he goes into all of that. And then they go into talking back and forth, these people and Vladdy's people and all these other people that are tying in the files. They're talking about how to divide this country, how to psychologically divide the citizens of this country. They go into that. They're like, Epstein sends himself research articles. His people send him research articles. I've never seen someone that researched that much in my life. And I thought I've been going nuts with this stuff. But I'm telling you right now, all of this stuff was predetermined. And if you don't think Iran wasn't the plan for this administration, think about what's happened since Trump came into this whole picture and how much Iran has been involved in it. Think about the reporters and the classified documents being at Mar-a-Lago, and that reporter, when they're right there, you see these pictures? These are plans that Mark Milley drew up for me in case I ever wanted to invade Iran. Remember that very specifically. Mark Milley, in case he wanted to invade Iran. Well, that's a kind of an odd freaking thing to pull out of your ass in front of people, or to ask the general to do. Come up with something. Let's just go, yeah, Iran sounds good. No, there was a purpose behind that request. And right now we see what that purpose is. Yeah, of the leaked audio of that reporter. That's what I'm talking about. And Project 2025 mentions Venezuela, Iran. It mentions all this stuff. I'm telling you, it's all freaking aligned. That's another reason they don't want these files coming out, because it's not just disgusting kid stuff. I mean, that's the most disgusting part of it, but there's a lot of world economic manipulation going on in these files. This is not something that's just a pedophilia ring in a human cafe type stuff. Chapter 4 and 6 in Project 2025. People, this entire thing is pre-planned. And right after he was showing those things off, he ripped up the JCPOA, the nuclear treaty, right after he was showing this stuff. See, here's the thing though, Granny. Here's the thing. We're in trouble because the idiots that gave him the power, he's still technically in power. Yes, we're in trouble in that way. I pray to God that it doesn't go as far as a draft. I pray to God when there are attacks in our shores, which there will be something, I don't know where, I don't know how, I don't know when, but I keep thinking of all the storylines that I have in my mind going back to childhood growing up in Jersey, and different suitcases that went missing and things like that, that I got to watch my language because the things I'm on the platforms. But that you hear the story about sleeper cells, you hear the stories about 6 months ago, 5 months ago, with Iran saying, okay, all the sleeper cells awakened. And remember all those little dribs and drabs we've heard along this time. We've heard all that. If we keep it all, like I always say, try and keep the storyline straight, it'll make a lot more sense to you. And little tiny things that are murmured in the corner, you'll automatically put in a file where it belongs with the rest of the puzzle pieces. And soon enough, you'll have that whole freaking puzzle too. This is how this shit gets confusing, because people don't do that. They don't they don't categorize a storyline of each character. I'm telling you, it makes life a lot easier. But this Iran thing was a plan from the beginning, which means Vladdy knew about it. There is nothing Trumple thin skin does that Vladdy and Bibi don't know about. There's a reason why Vladdy has not been too vocal over all this crap when his allies, his buddies, besides Trump, that's his bitch, his allies are getting, when I say Russian allies, Venezuela is Russia, China, right? Iran, Russia, China, Cuba, Russia. I don't know how involved China is down there, but he's picking on Venezuela, Russian affiliations. And Putin hasn't really done much. He hasn't really said much. He's in military and he's supporting, but he hasn't really come out like he usually does. He came out stronger thinking Trump was going to not remember that they put him in office. Remember that whole first day he was in office? Russian media was showing the naked pictures of the first lady and then like a note saying, we put you in office. You owe us. Remember, we will collect. Like he was doing that. That was more of a firmer stance against Trump with a message on TV than he's doing now with this whole Iran attack thing. I mean, think about it. Have you heard him go nuts on it? No, but these are his people. So why isn't he? Because his oil prices that he was sanctioned from selling all over the world are now being sold all over the world and he is making bank. So, tomatoes, tomatoes. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of ways to look at that. There's a lot of ways to look at how all of this is it's all part of the same storyline. We can't let the distractions and the bullshit confuse us, because that's what the purpose of it is to do. It's to confuse us. Yeah, it's three bullies. But that's the thing is it's my I'm trying to be careful with what I say. The targets that Israel and the United States are hitting in Iran are flat out evil. They're evil. They're a destruction of a people type of targets. They hit the biggest oil refinery, which I'm sure you've seen the oil burning going down the streets and the air is just full of black smoke. They also hit, because of sanctions and rules in Iran, the medication that the citizens live on, the only medications, prescriptions that they have access to, are made in Iran. And I think it's either 12 or 14. I forget off the top of my head how many manufacturers of prescription drip pills and medical stuff that they have. The US and Israel has not only bombed the water treatment centers, but there's 14. They blew up all 14 medication manufacturers in the country and the major hospitals. That's part of it. That's part of it. Think about that. Now, I can't help but feel like we're watching the beginning of another Gaza. Iran has too many powerful friends that I don't think would allow that. Or will there be a section that's given up or whatever? Because Israel has a new map that's right on the patches of their military. It is not a map of Israel, it's a map of the new Israel. And that patch is a whole some of Saudi Arabia, Syria, Iran, all these different, just coincidentally, the places that have been bombed and blamed on Iran, which many of them weren't Iranian bombs. There's a lot of that. Oh, thank you, Canadian Massimo. Thank you. We've got some comments coming up on YouTube too. But that's the thing, guys. It's there. It's an. I'm because TikTok's going. Can't go too mean on BB because Mr. Ellison's a worshiper. Israel in general, BB and Trump match each other's evil. I've read enough of the files to say wholeheartedly they match each other's evil. They're blowing up oil refineries that catch the oil on fire, which fills the air with smoke, which gets people sick. They're blowing up the hospitals so people can't go get medical treatment. Then they're blowing up all the prescription makers and medical manufacturing places so they can't get help even when they need it. And since there's no infrastructure for delivery of medications there, they're kind of screwed. They've already blown all that shit up. That was like some of the first targets. That's just evil. That's not regime change. That's a big, ugly, determined destroying of a people. And in my eyes, and I hope I'm wrong, but it feels like the beginning of Gaza. And remember, guys, I got kicked off the freaking creative program originally because video before it talking about, yeah. It's a real estate development. And the one thing that pops into my head over and over again, I don't know if any of you guys remember this. Do you remember Trump saying when he's talking about the Board of Peace and the group of people that are involved in the Board of Peace and how wonderful it is? And this is the first of many projects we have. Remember he said that? I've always said the Board of Peace seems like a real estate development deal. Like it's a fundraising platform for their let's take over and blow stuff up and rebuild it. Share responsibly in life. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll come up. And that's the thing is I don't know what their plans on. I know the Israeli patch that they have is not anything close to the size of the Abraham Accords. Yeah. It's not Israel. It's taken over. I think there's 4 or 5 pieces of a bunch of other countries. And Donald Trump and his Epstein war. That's about it. And that's it. Yeah. Yeah. It's that's the thing, guys. I really I don't know. This is not a oh cool. All right. All right, let's see. All right, Dolphin. How are you, Dolphin? You're okay? You sure about that? What's been going on? How you doing? All right?
Anthropic, the ones that use Claude, the one that
Yep.
just to let you know, they sued the Pentagon today.
They did. I was
yes.
wondering when they were going to do that because that's what they were
Yeah.
using when they bombed the school twice, right?
Well, actually, I
Possibly.
don't think they actually got any. I don't think they used theirs.
There was another one that was in the same type of battle with Hegseth about not doing.
The Open AI.
Is it the Open AI they were fighting with too?
Well, no, they wanted to use Open AI. They're fighting with Anthropic,
Right.
because they use Claude and they wanted to use that system, and
Right.
they were like, no, you can't use it for that. And today, they fucking sued the Pentagon.
I'm very, very glad they did that. I didn't catch that. That's good.
I let Attorney D know as soon as I found out. I was like, hey,
Oh,
D, add another one to it.
Yeah, Attorney, she's awesome.
Do you know how many lawsuits are against this administration right now?
Oh God, there were thousands before you even got in.
Well, 687
now, just from this round.
Yeah.
I'm talking before he ran for president the first time. I think he was sued 4,800 times or something crazy. Yeah. This is ridiculous.
Another thing. And I found this fucking hilarious because you know how they always talk about the Judeo-Christian values.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm laughing and I'm going, my mom is Jewish, right? The Jewish people do not believe that God is the Messiah or that he came back and he walked, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Does not believe that.
Right.
So you know what Izzy did today?
Is this the coalition that tried to put a bill through? Is that what where you're going?
Well, actually, no, they didn't try. They passed it.
It's they're not allowed to is this they would punish anyone who speaks the word of Jesus?
Exactly.
And throw them in jail for a year.
I thought the Izzy people loved the Christians. They lied.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you think? It's the whole force. Oh, the whole false. I want to say equivalency, but I don't even know. It might to the biblical sense of the olive trees and Jerusalem and the homeland and the Holy Land and all. Basically, Bibi hijacked the Bible to use it against Christians to get their support so he can do this exact shit. That's the way I feel. Can I read this? Yes, Platypus. I get a mixed group of messages. So I don't get all the messages, but yeah, I do. Yeah, it's Platypus.
That pig wrote something 2 hours ago. Now,
Platypus Mafia is awesome. Follow Platypus Mafia as well.
I really want to point this out, right?
Yeah.
So I know you can't see the whole thing. I can't see it either, but it says, additionally, we will take out easily deployable targets that will make it virtually impossible for Iran to ever build back as a nation again. Unalive, fire, and fury will rain down upon them. But I hope and pray it does not happen. This is a gift from the United States to China. What? What?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Can we say, hi, I've been working for Russia and China the whole motherfucking time.
Russia, China, and Bibi. Absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt about it. Russia, China, and Bibi. That's the threesome Trump joined right there. But he's always been in bed with China. Remember the very first shit show, not The Apprentice, the other one. The very first one, Ivanka got 147 or 27 patents from China, from everything from body bags to all this other stuff. Gee, I wonder if those businesses are in place right now for any contracts that we might need. But anyway, she had body bags, machines, and a bunch of other stuff all in that first term. And he had a bunch of new patents too. I don't know what he was patenting, maybe fake gold watches, but I don't freaking know. But yeah, Dolphin, this world is a shit show and a half led by an orange fucking clown.
Well, because I follow Covey, I love Covey. And I go into her lives, and she's taught me so much about Iran and the Sudanese and the Congo and the UAE and the UN. I did not realize that the UAE were such fucking pathetic G-side people.
I got three banners. We got to be careful. I just got taken off the final list.
Okay. 45 has said that the M Brotherhood are now T organizations, and that now it's giving like what I can't remember the name of their army. It's literally a paramilitary army in Sudan Sudan the UAE has. Can't remember the name of them, but yeah,
I think it's I think they have specific directives mapped out with acceptable losses. And when they say acceptable losses to Trump, it's anyone that's not him or his kids or his friends, but even his friends, he doesn't really care too much. You're from Sudan, Meanie Beanie? It's there's everything's intertwined very carefully. Everything's intertwined carefully. It's ridiculous with I'm not surprised. I knew he was going to do something when he tore up that treaty in the first place. I was like, oh, there's a reason he's doing that, and I hope it's not what I think it is. And here we are.
Well, it didn't help when he decided to move the embassy to Jerusalem.
No, but that was again part of the whole plan. You know, he doesn't do anything for no reason. You know, the base in Georgia, was the base in Georgia bombed as well? Abu Dhabi's fantastic. That's the thing, guys, is man. The problem is, did that executive order he tried to put in the first shit show, the one with the 18 to 24-year-olds for the draft, 2 years military service, I know it had some problems, but it kind of faded out. It was kind of off the radar. I know it went back and forth.
Yeah, it did. As far as I know, I thought Congress literally like approved it, but said it wouldn't be active. I don't exactly know how to explain that one.
Wouldn't be active until it's needed, of course.
Yeah, and then I'm just going to say this much. Getting rid of the trans military members, going after the high-ranking generals, even going after others in the military.
Democrats. Anybody who is Democrat.
Lost a lot of personnel.
Exactly. The problem is most of the personnel that they fired on purpose were the freaking experts that know this shit, and the people in place are people from freaking Fox News and the real world. You know, and we wonder why. Yeah.
You heard what dumbass said about an attack here, right?
Which one? Which dumbass?
45.
Oh.
45 decided to say, one of the reporters asked him, what if there is an attack here on U.S. soil? Now, mind you, we're not in a war, right? We don't have going off here in the United States, right? Last time I checked. He said, well, I'm not really worried about it. That's what happens in war. So fuck?
Well, you know, the White House, the administration just blocked a report, a worldwide report of an increase in threats to specific United States, and they're not letting anyone know?
Oh, yeah, that was, I believe, part of the
Mm-hmm.
untruth that I was just showing you,
Yeah.
Anna. I believe it said it at the very top.
We no longer have special. Well, and think about what Canada did. Canada totally broke up with us. I mean, and now NORAD, we don't have any communication with partners in NORAD. There's no shared intelligence, and they fired a bunch of the leaders there. Who's watching who's like literally it's not the fox watching the hen house, it's freaking it's KFC watching the hen house. You know what I mean?
And then you've got Crazy Eyes Cash literally got rid of anybody that could like thwart any kind of attack here.
It's
But
amazing.
it's our national security, Mike, isn't it?
It's
We're doing all this for our national security, yet making us less safe.
I can't help but think there's some form of sadistic, we're going to milk this puppy dry and let someone come in and take it. I can't help but think that he's, I'm waiting for him to say, well, I've decided to give Vladdy Alaska back. I'm really waiting to hear that. I'm waiting to hear that.
Well, I mean, they already released sanctions on their oil to let them sell it. And then these idiots, but will they be profiting off of it? Well, we just this, and this, and this. Dude, that is a yes, but you're not saying yes.
And it's like, again, it's all in my account in Qatar.
Right.
Well, what I want to know is when the Castle in the Sky is going to be done. The $400 million jet. The one
Do they
that's
want that back, by the way? I know that they're pissed off.
but think about this. Air Force One is able to withstand a nuclear blast. It's not direct, but like
plane for that, actually.
Well, they're saying it's made to be a bulletproof, bomb-proof fortress in the sky that could run the whole entire military. That's what Air Force One is supposed to be. It's supposed to be, and that bunker that was under the West Wing was supposed to be in case stuff happens here, which, anyway. But if they're retrofitting a castle to be bomb-proof, nuke-proof, to run the cut, and he's able to leave to his $6 billion property in Qatar with a $500 million minimum of free. To me, that says, number one, he's expecting all of his assets in the States to be taken, which is why he's in crypto and everything else. Because when there's gone, he's still going to need some money. So it's a good thing he has a nest egg over in Qatar with his properties. I can't help but think it's like Blue Star Airlines on Wall Street. It's a liquidation before the garage sale. You know what I mean? I can't help it. My brain goes there. I don't know why. Maybe, Jeff Epstein had his own little part of, I know this is sidetracked, but I said Blue Star Airlines he actually named a airline, an aviation company, Blue Star, and he flew his clients to his properties to be with the girls on that airline. So Blue Star is something that ties in with. That's where the freaking Wall Street popped up.
Thelma, right now, the person that's minding the mint is the one person that's standing in the way of Trump. He calls him Too Late Powell. It is the Fed that controls the mint, by the way.
Yeah. If
he gets somebody in there that will drop them interest rate. Oh my God, Mike.
But
I gotta find this freaking clip in RTP Talks Discord, because it was, I can't remember who it was, in like 2007 was doing this interview with this reporter. And I was like, dude, I feel sorry for anybody with earbuds right now, because he started off normal. and then he just screaming about how whomever needs to drop the rates fast, or bad things are going to happen, and the housing. That's the reason why the housing was so expensive.
Yeah, that's the reason.
It was because of the housing crash.
Of course,
they wanted it to drop because they wanted them to be able to buy things cheaper or some shit like that. I can't even think right now. But yeah, to help them, to help the big business people. So, and right now you've got the same thing happening with AI, and everybody's screaming, hey, you need to drop the interest rates. You need to drop the interest rates. Blah 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 blah. But you're not telling anybody why. It's for you and your rich buddies.
And in addition, well, and he's also messing. If you notice, every time the stock market dips, when it comes back up, it's just a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Because they all buy when it's low, and they say, and then it comes to, its estimated damage to U.S. bases in Iran are over 10 billion. Imagine what you could do with 10 billion. Exactly, Arash. And I can't even, I'm trying to, oh, wait, it may let me, I was able to, no, it didn't let me do it. I approve that, and the 77 million maggots need to follow him to Qatar. Absolutely. I tried to approve that comment, and it won't let me. All right, yeah, it's estimated damage U.S. bases in Iran over 10 billion. I'm telling you guys, this is. I literally made a video. Where the hell is my other phone? Okay, here it is. So I made a video in regards to Iran, and you're gonna stare at my freaking ceiling for a second. I recognize that ceiling from your dance videos. Yeah, but well, at least you're not looking at the damn ceiling when I'm dancing. Right. All right. So I made this video in regards to the strikes. Right. So because I asked my phone, which is an Android, and it uses AI Gemini. Right. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a lot. But the Google is very limited now. I did what? I said Google is very manipulated now with the searches big time. So this is my video. Just listen to what my AI says. I'm making this video on a clarification to the Trump administration, saying that military personnel were evacuated, things like that, because we're not getting the real news, by the way. And the administration is, constantly fucking lying. So I'm going to ask my phone. My phone is an Android, which means it uses AI Gemini. So I'm going to ask it this question. Please listen to the answer. Did Trump or the administration evacuate military personnel from Iran before they struck? Here we go.
The Trump administration did not evacuate all military or civilian personnel before the joint U.S.-Israeli strikes on February 28, 2026. While some tactical preparations occurred, the administration has faced significant criticism for a lack of a comprehensive evacuation plan. Military personnel. Prior to the strikes, the U.S. reduced its fleet headquarters in Bahrain to fewer than 100 mission-critical personnel and moved ships out of port. However, thousands of troops remained at regional bases. In the week following the initial strikes, Iranian retaliatory attacks reportedly killed 6 American service members in Kuwait. Civilian evacuations. The State Department did not issue a Depart Now alert for U.S. citizens in the Middle East until March 2nd, 2 days after the war began. By that time, much of the region's airspace was already closed. Administration response. President Trump stated on March 3rd that there were no advance evacuation plans for Americans because the situation happened all very quickly. Would you like more?
That's just ridiculous.
Hold on. Just to clarify, no way in hell it was only 7 military members that were killed.
Absolutely.
No way in motherfucking hell.
Absolutely.
There is a lot more than 7. And the administration is fucking lying.
How can
Iran also
you
has
you
POWs.
you
I
have
wanted to mention the POWs at the end of that.
they have this is you get away with cursing. I can't curse once without a freaking banner. I can't. So I'm. It's annoying to me. But there's a another interesting little spin to this. And Anna, are you still here, Anna?
Can
Along.
you even come off mute, sweetie? Because she keeps typing in the comments. There she is. I'm here.
Hello. Do you guys remember Polymarket from back in the day?
Who?
Polymarket, the online betting platform that
The name rings a bell, but I don't remember the content.
I did a bunch of videos.
Is that the shit that what's his butts like constantly freaking like pedals? Nick Shirley, he's always wearing the shirt, the sweater.
Now, here's what they do. They collect bets on things that happen, just like Kelsey or whatever that is, Kelsey or whatever. Polymarket was raided right after the presidential. That's the one I did a bunch of videos on. All right,
that's it.
They were raided because right before the election, there were very specific things that were bet on that no one could have known, and they got it right away. So they raided it. Well, the day before the invasion, the attack, the World War III kicking off, there was a few accounts that bet on Polymarket that there will be an attack in Iran within 24 hours.
Yep.
And they made $600,000-$700,000 in one bet. And they went back and they noticed all these like 3 or 4 specific accounts, but one of them is like MAGA guy something. And then I looked at the investors in Polymarket, and it's people like Peter Thiel own Polymarket.
Oh.
And there was one other. There was one other of Trump's that are one of the owners of Peter Thiel, one of the owners with Peter Thiel. But it's so they're placing bets on wars starting and then cashing in on the wars.
Yeah, disgusting. It's disgusting, isn't it? And there's just the upside down flag is your Facebook face.
Is his Facebook page? That's just
okay.
Yeah, that's just crazy. When I started Revolution Washington, I did everything in front of a flag. I don't know if you guys remember that. And I would get so many comments go, dude, I thought you were MAGA. I'm like, why? Because of the flag. And it pissed me off so bad, but I refused to take it down because it was like, no, that doesn't mean MAGA. That means freaking American. Cut the shit out. I hate that they claim red, white, and blue is Trump. No, orange is Trump. Red, white, and blue with letters on it. You know, the sacrilegious.
Have you seen the administration lately? Jesus Christ. Is it me or are they all turning orange? And then fucking Trump's hair is pink. What the hell?
Well, you know, I think that's his blood pressure coming out through his his whatever.
The fucking hair plugs.
I don't understand how. I don't understand why. I just can't get how after all of this information came out, after all of the things that he's done out in the open in front of everybody between ICE and all the stuff that happened, it doesn't matter to me how racist somebody is, how angry, how whatever somebody is. There's no way that you can go through all of these things, check all these boxes and go, nope, he's still a good guy. I still believe in him. Like that is a level of willful ignorance that is just
Mike, I have to say something. It's a cold. Hey, Rev, by the way, I wanted to tell you, I literally just got on Discord because I love RTP talk. I fucking love Jay. He makes me laugh. Calls them little bitches all the time. I love it. Anyways, so I was in there and we watched this movie called 2073. And get this, like the main character, the character that was in it is literally the precog from freaking Minority Report,
Oh, that's funny.
and it is scary.
That is
They show
funny.
Peter Thiel. They show that they want a technocracy.
Yep.
They show that the information. They show Muskie. They
Yep.
show what the heck is this Amazon dude?
The Jeff Bezos.
And,
well, they were all. Did they
the fuck
talk
his name is.
about? Did they talk about that the house they all lived in and where was
They
it?
talked yeah, they're talking about the cities. They talked about like how they're all getting ready for like this like end of days type thing, and they're like building like whole like I don't even know, like apartment complexes that go like 200 feet into the ground. It's freaking nuts.
Yeah.
I was watching that and I was like, good movie, but fucking scared me worse than any horror movie.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. No doubt. Oh, thank you very
Talking
much.
about the surveillance that
Yeah.
other countries are using, that Palantir is now using. They brought up everything. I was freaked out.
Now, Anna, what was that you were going to say? And England just ended something with Palantir, didn't they?
They were trying to, because we didn't know that Palantir are now running the National Health Service.
Yes, and they're trying to get all of your medical information from the time, because you guys have it from like birth to like end, and like everywhere in between. Anytime they go to visit a doctor, every time they get sick. No, I heard about that, sweetheart. Yeah.
And what I was going to say, I think I was trying to say earlier on was, Trump wanted Starmer to join the war, and Starmer said no. The next thing we know is a British military base in Cyprus. Cyprus, as part of NATO, was hit. Now, I don't believe it was Iran. I think it came from Israel.
I agree.
Because they knew if they hit a British base,
we would have
to get more involved.
Yep.
And that's exactly what is happening. We've got warships on the way to Cyprus to protect the base.
I'll tell you,
just to be a little safer with your words, Mike and Anna. If you try to say Orange Man, I call him 45. It's a lot easier. If you mention JE, just say JE, and
right.
when you bring up that I country, say Izzy or I country, so this way you don't get flagged so much.
I get flagged for the cursing. That's what I get flagged for.
I forgot about the cursing. Damn it.
But no, that's kind of the. I'm glad that other countries are taking stands, but when that was what I was referring to earlier. And a lot of these accounts, they're finding out a lot of these attacks. They're finding out they weren't like. They blamed Iran, for all of these different attacks. I think half of them probably weren't even Iran, because right after that, it turned into a PR move. Like you were saying, UK didn't want to be involved. And then all of a sudden Cyprus is bombed and then they're involved. I think that
Cyprus is part of NATO.
Right. I think that's
you know what I think it is, kind of sort of, Rev?
What's that?
You know how that little book that he liked to sleep next to, that he read?
Yeah, Mein Kampf.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so question in regards to that. See, back in the day in 1939, we didn't have social media, we didn't have videos, we didn't have shit that we could look at. So basically, I think he's kind of counting on that system to get away with the crap that they're saying, because it literally seems like that's what they're trying to do.
Absolutely.
They're like say, oh, we're gonna, they're this and this and this and this. And back in the day, you couldn't clarify or find information to prove that wrong. But unfortunately, nowadays we can, and they can't get away with it as bad.
And that's part of the beauty of what's going on behind the scenes with the communities that are forming and all that other stuff, is that we have figured out a way they are trying to suppress the hell out of everybody, and we're figuring out a way to go around them and go, no, we're going to talk this way. Oh, you don't like this way? You're trying to block this? Okay, because there's 3 other brand new things that just came out that we're going to continue this conversation on. I think that's where we're going to be hitting them back the hardest. It's I have heard that there is a very, very bigly growing offensive behind the scenes ready to impeach, prosecute, take about. And supposedly the numbers are there. Supposedly over the last 24 hours, when he started talking about deployments and drafts and stuff like that, the Republicans that were talking about 30 to 50 that a while ago talking about leaving, and then I heard once all this, and this is little pockets of people directly to behind the scenes Republicans, that there is a movement moving forward as we speak that should come out pretty soon. So I'm excited to hear that there's the possibility of people not waiting for the freaking midterms. You know,
I
that
do have good news on the home front for
What's-
any married women, by the way.
Yeah.
That SAVE
uh-huh,
act that they're trying to push,
uh-huh.
it does not have the 60 votes. It will not pass, but you will hear it up. It will be kicked around as a political football, but that is not going to pass, period. End of story.
That's
Attorney
good.
Di
Good.
gave me the information. I love Attorney Di.
Oh,
She is
yeah.
a friend of mine on this app. I
She's-
love it.
She's fantastic.
She's
I
good.
absolutely love her. And yeah, and it's, I'm watching a lot of Liz Oyer, the ex-pardon attorney. She's really straight to the point, and it's got a lot of good info. I don't know, Anna. Have you heard any news?
One other thing
Yeah.
I forgot
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
mention, Fudge Sickles. Michael Popak dropped some legal AF on us this morning, apparently.
Okay.
And the Supreme Court has told Trump, I'm sorry, 45, that he is not allowed to draw U.S. maps.
Yeah, I hope. Didn't he want to federalize all the elections that
Yeah.
came under the government?
Yeah, that's
That
what
is
he wanted to do.
Scary.
So did
Yeah,
they?
good luck on doing that too.
Did they
I'm just
officially?
laughing at this, dude. He could say, he could do, he
Oh,
could
yeah.
freaking whatever he wants. Problem is, it's not constitutional and it's not going to happen. And if
Yeah.
he does do that, it's going to be immediately challenged by every single state in this fucking country.
That is why I
Except for
keep
maybe
trying.
some red states. There are a lot
Yeah.
of red states though that have pushed back. Oh my god, I can't talk.
Well, there's the big part with what people are realizing now. I think I hear most of the arguments in chat, and most of the people now. You know, there's not a lot of vocal Republicans that actually want to have conversations anymore. They're kind of hesitant to stand up vocally at this point, and the ones that do seem to have an ulterior motive, like their paychecks or something. You know what I mean? It's like there's no passion behind their arguments anymore. Have you noticed that those that are trying to argue are kind of half-assing it? It's like they're like, I got to keep up the act.
Exhausted. They're
Yeah.
exhausted too. They're tired. They are tired of having to twist themselves into pretzels to defend somebody that doesn't give a shit about them.
Yeah, that's going to be
Mike, what were you going to ask me?
oh hell. Oh hell, I don't know. No, I was going to ask you if there was any movement as far as on the Epstein investigations or anything new on any of the people that. Oh, thank you, Magdalena.
You won't.
Thank you.
You won't, because it's a live investigation,
Okay.
and so they'll be hesitant to say anything which could jeopardize any future charges.
Right. Right.
So you get the things like so and so was questioned, but you won't get any more information, because otherwise, when it comes to court, the people being charged will say that they can't get a fair
Right. A trial.
fair case.
Yeah, because the
Are they gonna pull?
information.
Are they gonna pull a 45 and be like, New York was so liberal, they don't like me? Is that kind of like it? I know. Just a question.
In the UK,
Well, yeah, I was kind of making a joke.
Yeah.
and at
They
the
don't-
same time.
They don't get away with stuff like that over there, from what I.
no, we don't.
Yeah, I kind of like the way they handle their There, when
Members of Parliament,
politicians
yeah.
when politicians screw
Yeah,
up.
the prince formerly known as Andrew, gone.
Well, I mean, that and my favorite story with the guy who looked at porn on the floor and ended up getting fired before he could even tell his wife
He
that
was
he's got in
looking at
trouble.
tractors, Mike.
Sorry, he was looking at tractors. I forgot
Wait.
tractors.
Wait, in the UK, they be getting in trouble for that shit. But
All right,
here in
are
the
you-
United States,
all right.
you can show Hunter Schlong
All right, wait.
in freaking
Okay, what?
Congress and get away with that shit.
Well, this is the thing.
Absolutely.
I gotta tell this story. This is my favorite story. This guy was looking at tractors on in Parliament, and there are two female members of Parliament behind him, and saw him on his phone. Complained. He was fired, and by the time he got home, the newscasters were in front of his house. And what did he say to the newscasters when he got home?
He said, he answered some questions and he apologized for his behavior. Then he said, I now have to go in and talk to my work.
He got.
And I thought, wow, talking to the press was easy, but you go inside, mate, you're going to get a right earful.
Dolphin, he got fired the same day. Like literally, can you imagine? And we got Matt Gaetz going, this is, look at the 16-year-old. Look what she was doing. I mean, he was showing his own videos around Congress. And we've got Lauren Blobert and Beetlejuice giving her knees a workout, or sorry, her wrists a workout. It's
Yeah.
I envy the system over there when it comes to handling politicians. I really do. And the whole way you guys do it, 35-day. Now, Dolphin, imagine how happy this country would be if our election cycle was 35 days and on the 36th day, the people took their jobs and it was over for another couple of years. That would be 35 days. That's it. That's all England does. They get the same exact amount of money. They can only raise the same exact amount of money. They get the same exact amount of time on air, like interviews and everything else.
Yeah.
And on day 36, they start their job. How's that for a cool way to do it?
We don't have the months in between.
Right on, bro.
Right? It's and they have no electronic counting the machine, counting the votes. Nothing's digital. They separate paper votes into stacks of 10. And 1, 2, 3, and they have people from each side. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, Anna. People from each side watching to make sure they're counting it right. And if there's an issue, they recount that one stack. And divided, no people can reach in and change it. No one can zap it up to a Starlink and change the numbers or rewrite the voting software. It's all freaking done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have the results within hours.
Yeah, within hours, done. No bullshit.
Sorry?
What was that,
What do
Dolphin?
you think? Are you there, Dolphin?
Yeah.
What did you say?
Oh, fuck.
Join the club of people that can't remember what we were going to say.
Right? I call it mental pause.
What were you guys talking about?
Mental
We were
pause.
talking about the election, the ballot papers, how they were counted.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay. One thing that I'd like to bring up is I hate dropping fucking other names of lives in here, but
Oh, come
Jay
on. That's
from
what you
RTP
do it all the
Pubs,
time.
One thing that he never wanted to cover because he didn't want to be like MAGA
Right.
was whether or not there was some screwery in the 2024 contest.
Right.
And he recently started actually speaking about it and showed data, information, what a normal contest looks like and what a contest, say, in the Russia looked like and the Russian tale. And when you look, and it's funny because he said all of this, literally, like the change from Harris to 45 was activated 60% when 45 reached 60% of the votes in there. It switched a switch,
Yeah.
and you could see it literally happen
Yeah.
at that moment.
Yeah. And it flipped.
That's the reason why he wants to get rid of paper ballots, by the way, is because you can't cheat with those.
No.
Yeah. And that's
But you remember that Musk came out and said, "That's it, he's won," and he went home early from the count.
Yeah, that too.
He's already won.
What is it, 24%?
Yeah.
Fairly.
That's the thing is, and that's when the poly market and all that got all those votes and all that other stuff. Yeah, it's
And if you want to look into it, by the way, to anybody that's in the chat, and if you guys do, go to Election Truth Alliance.
Yes, Election Truth Alliance. They just finished a whole nother one, didn't they?
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. It's like I said, he did not want to bring this up. There's this one like person that he really talks to like all the time. They're friends, and she kept
How you
sending
doing,
him
Mika?
information about it, and he was very hesitant because he does not like to bring misinformation or what the MAGA always constantly say that we're doing, or fear mongering to situations unless he can actually prove. You know what I'm saying?
I hate it when he says, "Oh, we won by a landslide," and I'm thinking,
"Oh, that
what?"
You gotta remember, everything is about the marketing and about the writing. It's all the pearl clutching. I'm having vapors. You know, it's all freaking over dramatic bullshit. That's all it is. And it's funny because you can see it. Like when he was talking just tonight about the he was talking about how long this is going to last and how long the high gas prices are. He almost said, did you catch this? He almost said 2 weeks, but he stopped himself. It's like he caught shit. Did you catch that?
2 weeks.
It's like someone said, whatever you do, don't say 2 weeks. Because he was about to say, and he's like, and it's going to be, it's going to be a short time. I mean, it won't quite be a week, but and he was so tempted to say 2 weeks because that's his freaking thing. And he didn't do it. Oh, thank you. And he didn't do it. And that's the funniest damn thing to me is it's just like, and then people are talking. And, a lot of people are telling me, this guy came to me, this big tough guy with tears in his eyes. And he comes up with all that bullshit. And you just know, somebody told me. As soon as he says someone told me, that's the voice in his head or his mini mushroom screaming from his diaper. That's all it is. Just saying.
Hi, Fiercey. How you doing, girl?
Hi.
Hi, Fiercey.
I want to say hi, Mike. Hi, Anna. And hello to our cute little resident investigative reporter, Dolphin.
Hell yeah. She's a badass.
Yeah. I wanted to touch on something you said earlier.
Okay.
Mike, we were talking about the draft.
Uh-huh.
I have 2 sons that I like very much.
Yes.
And I even love them too. So I was, this stuff, this topic obviously had me thinking. Now, I think they are now too old, but if not, I have never been happier that they are fat and lazy and they would never get to boot camp ever. So.
It must be very worrying though for parents.
They could suddenly literally lower the standards just like they did for ICE.
Yeah.
Well, my 29-year-old, the minute somebody raises their voice to him, he'll start to cry.
Oh, like Trump.
And Robert, my oldest, he's 31, gonna be 32. He's an early bird. He'd be ready to fall asleep by 8 p.m. So I don't know, I don't think those two, they'd be sent home before basic is over. They'd say thank you, but no thank you.
I don't know how this would actually work. I mean, I'm wondering because there's also a lot of talk about the people who are getting notified of being deployed basically taking the stance that this is, not follow a legal order stuff. But I feel, I hate to say, I feel bad for the Republicans whose family is in the military and who are now getting deployed or getting notified that they're getting deployed, because that's happening. I feel bad because their children may or may not have been the people who voted that way, and maybe,
when before he was inaugurated, actually it was like the day after the test, the big test, my FYP was full of, MAGA dependas, military dependas,
right,
who were saying, "Oh, thank God he won because it passed the test. Because if it was Kamala,
we'd be at war.
My husband would be, sent off, right?" And I remember commenting on some of them, and God, I wish I still, because that's all buried in my history somewhere. But I wish I could go back, because I had replied to some of them, and I'm like, "Oh, honey."
Yeah, you had no idea.
It's going to be, if anybody's going to, it's going to be this guy. Just wait and see.
Yep.
And I wish I could go back and, ne'er-do-well. But because he was scared of his dad, he enlisted, which to the surprise of everybody, because that guy didn't even shave ever and had long hair. So in he went, scruffy, Scooby or Shaggy looking dude. And it was he was going to do his 5 years and get out. Like, it wasn't because he knew what he was. It was, he said, he went in there to learn a career, got out, and is now doing that career as a civilian, working for the Department of Defense, but as a civilian, and he still had, the GI Bill, and he still got certain perks and disability payments and stuff like that. So, and he picked a job that wasn't combat related. He would have been on an aircraft carrier in the tower, but when the economy is bad, that's when enlistment numbers go up.
Yeah.
Oh, health and happiness. I have an account, Revolution Washington 1. That is a backup account. There's only like 1,300, 1,400 followers. If you follow me there, please do. And anyone else on this, that is the backup account. I was on a final warning for about 2 weeks. I've been banned a whole bunch of times in the last 6 months. And I am experimenting on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. There's only a handful of people, but they're a great handful of people. And it's, I'm getting used to all this stuff. I don't want to seem like too much of a technologically challenged old man, but that's about right. That's about right. And we have.
So, Mike.
So what?
How do you see the next week going? What do you think? Because obviously he's made a mistake. He thought he'd go in just like he did with Venezuela, and now he's realizing these guys are a lot stronger than Venezuela. So how is he going to handle that? Because he's not going to win this in the conventional way.
My worry is Iran's capability at cyber attacks. That's my worry. Because we are also reliant on a lot of Chinese components and very, very important pieces of the infrastructure. There's a lot of danger from that too.
I'm hearing sleeper cells stateside as well.
Very much so.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Very much so. There's been sleeper cells stateside for a very, very long time. Remember, decades ago, there were, how many missing nuclear suitcases? Literally suitcase-sized nukes that never turned up. I drive around, even in the mountain area, and I see the funky-looking, Saudi Arabian-looking sabers and those bumper stickers, and it sounds all right. What I believe is going to happen, and this is what this is the way I interpret the information I am getting from the different world type of news outlets, not relying on the American ones really at all. Um, it seems like Iran's attacks and their military capabilities are very well thought out because the things they're doing are hitting things that are directly connected to Donald Trump's money or partnerships, and they seem to be not really going too deep in as far as the American side. Israel, there's bombs landing all over the place and everything else. But they're hitting infrastructure. They're hitting stuff. It seems measured. Israel and the U.S. are like, all right, let's hit the most evil, painful stuff as we can right out of the gate. So they're bombing water purifying facilities and and everything that they need to survive. The 14 prescription drug manufacturers in the country, and because of the laws in that country, they don't have any other drug manufacturers. So this is all they have. So let's wipe them out on the first day. That's just freaking evil.
Yeah.
So I can see that pushing them farther into the Israeli side. I can see a lot of people joining Iran to fight Israel more than to come up against the United States, because obviously they know Israel's the driving force behind this stuff. That's no secret. That's the way I can see it evolving, because they tried to paint Iran as they respond by shooting everywhere and blowing up everywhere. And then we find out a lot of the things that were blamed on Iran didn't do. Iran may not have blown this up, may not have blown that up. And then they say that, the U.S. had nothing to do with bombing the school. And then you see the Tomahawk missiles and you see, we will find out the truth. But what I hear the most of is Iran's actually being quite measured in their response. Like they painted fake aircraft on the ground because they knew that the U.S. and Israel were relying on AI to have us waste more taxpayer money without any deaths. That's pretty brilliant.
It's brilliant the way they've done their factories for ammunition underground.
Yeah. And
each one of their drones is something like 20,000.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep sending them out, knowing that the US will send their super expensive 350,000 bombs to counteract them. So they can make drones all day long underground and just keep checking them out until basically the resources are empty.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is they're fighting more intelligently. But when you're thinking about it, you have actual, experts, Iranian experts that have been experts for a long time that didn't get fired over the new regime. You know what I mean? They're actual experts. They're not TV game show hosts and freaking.
You just touched on something that I've been thinking for the last 5 minutes, waiting to hop in. It's very obvious, like you're talking about, strategically cunning and experts, and then we've got a kindergartner in charge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we've got Hexeth who's eager to do real life Call of Duty, and that's what's getting him chubby.
Yeah.
So then here we are, right?
That's it. We got Nazi Ken doll, and the Nazi Ken doll and plasticine Barbie's been moved, so that's plus.
Oh yeah, that was good.
But well, I mean, think about it. She did a $220 million ad campaign, $124 million, I think it was, from that American something company that she gave a contract to with the DHS, and this company was formed by a political person, also did the $200 million ad things, and got 120, 300 million in a company that started 8 days before the check was cut. 8 days they filed the business paperwork and became a business and got 123.24 million. And that was someone who used to work for her government or in her governors, whatever the hell she did.
Essentially, that advert that she's costing all that money cannot be used now because she's no longer in the position.
Well, it was
a waste of money.
It was a bunch of different advertisements done, but they all featured her in different cosplay. And yeah, it was But that wasn't
just need her face when she found out.
Oh man, did you see the her husband was saying to ease people? We got Boozy Boo Boo up on the tube of you said just to ease people's anxiety. Iran is not against the American people, only the government. Well, thank you, Boozy Boo Boo. That's what I was praying that they would see, is that what I said to the Europeans right after he got into office when I went over to Europe. I said to him, I said to everyone that we're sorry, we didn't want him either. Please forgive us. The American hate him too. So it's really, really good to know the people in Iran know that.
Well, actually, Mike, I've been saying it for over 47 years. You're not understanding when they sit there and say unalive to America, they're talking about the government.
The government,
they're
not the people.
Talking about the
oh yeah.
people.
Oh yeah. Well, but now more than ever, because Trump has everyone